Mark, do we have some questions from participants?
Yeah. Bravo to everyone for their presentation. Certainly. I have Ellen Pober-Ritberg wanted to know if she could get her preschoolers interested in farming and gardening. So I offered to make sure that everybody's contact information was sent out to all our participants and our attendees tonight. That would be certainly a Phil thing. And she also asked about the Dandelion Festival. So I'm sure she's going to need Ira's information. So we'll get those out. I don't know who to give this to. What would you recommend for someone interested in composting, and are there facilities to bring food waste? That was Aurea Lang.
I have two suggestions.
Thanks, Lily.
Well, one is that I know that the Southwell Town Dump recently started it was like a test pilot program. I'm not sure what happened with it, but they were collecting food waste. So there may be a possibility to do that. And then I know that Deep Roots Farm, I think currently, I know they used to, they also accept food waste. If you just go to their farm stand with your bucket and dump it in their bucket.
Yep.
It does have to be like no meat, no cooked food. And people can compost also inside and, on their own property.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Can we grow peanuts on the North Fork? I guess that's a Lily question from Margaret de Cruz.
Well, Ira did it too, actually.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, those peanuts were grown on the Hudson Valley, but it's very similar. You can. It's not the easiest, probably, which is why they do it in the South, but you can.
Yeah, those were actually the ones you had there were larger than my carrots last year.
Well, it's hard to tell from the picture. There's no scale, but sure.
So it is possible. I can speak from experience. We've done it.
Oh, you've done peanuts, Phil?
Yeah.
I didn't see any in my share this week.
A little early for that. You got to think seasonality.
Yeah, the plants are just getting going now. I'm growing a little bit, not much.
They grow them in the South because they're a long season crop. Like,
yeah,
get them now and you'll harvest them way later. But they're worth it, I think.
I have a question from Sue McKenzie with the CSA at both Phil and Ira's. How do you join, and what is the commitment? I know, Ira, you said that you weren't. I like the fact that you reversed that. That was very. That was. I like it. I like it. Agriculturally supported community. That's. It's a good view. But how do people get involved with it?
All they have to do is send an email to kkthefarm at gmail.com and say you want to be on the list. There's no money up front. You just pay as you go. Every week you get a list of what's available and the pricing. And if you want something, you email back and we get it ready.
Okay. And Phil, I know you run on the calendar. You got to get in earlier. You're kind of like out of luck.
Yeah, our CSA is full. I want to. It's a commitment that I give to people. If they pay me money up front, I've got to be able to, do my share and make sure that I get them something every week. So we're full, and I've heard that from other farms too. A lot of interest in CSAs this year.
Yeah, I think a lot of that's been triggered by the idea of resilience for number one, for communities being more self-sufficient, to avoid supply chain disruptions. I think there's a lot of benefit to this whole thought. Local economies save 75% of the money stays in the local economy. I have a lot of reports on that too. So if you have any questions about that sort of thing, sure, email NFEC, and I can fill in on a few things. Margaret de Cruz would like to, and I'm gonna work with this abbreviation. What is the Latino Wine Association? I guess that's for Rich.
Yeah, that was a group that I helped start with a friend of mine, Seferino Katsohai from Guatemala, and it was a group that was set up to help advocate for Latinx vineyard workers and try to get them information, whether it was translated materials for vineyard workers and information about how to do their jobs a little bit better. A lot of Spanish language information is available out west. And so we helped bring some of that information back east. You know, some of the newer workers had a lot of questions. Where could they go for healthcare, essentially? Yeah, that's a group for that. There's a Facebook page that you can see. And so it has done some good work.
I've got a question from Louise Harrison directed to Rich. If some grape varieties are terribly finicky and hard to grow here on the North Fork, should they be continued? Or are they allowing an important financial niche that couldn't be denied? Third part, would it be worthwhile to encourage production of the grape varieties best suited for the North Fork conditions instead?
Yes and yes. I think there is a movement to look at varieties that might be easier to grow. There is a breeding program going on right now, and mostly a response to global warming and the changes that have occurred in different locations, especially in Europe, that are breeding more disease-resistant European varieties and crossings of European varieties. The market has, you know, the challenge is getting those into the market and having consumers accept them, because right now people are, as I mentioned, very varietally focused, almost like a brand. You know, if you like Pinot Grigio, you're going to look for Pinot Grigio. If you like Cabernet Sauvignon, you're going to look for that. Yeah, I do think it is the future. There are Native American grapes that were grown here 400 years ago. There's lots of documentation. There was a huge nursery in Flushing, actually, when Flushing was the agricultural center for New York City, that sold many different kinds of grapevines. So I do think that is something that we'll see more in the future. What grape varieties that are better suited and can be grown really very organically. The European ones are much more difficult.
All right. Rich, thank you. Debbie, I'm going to throw your last slide up for you to talk through. I don't have any more questions, but a reminder to talk about our June 15th plastic event.
Yes, indeed. Well, first of all, I just want to, before we move on, to thank you all presenters. You did an incredible job, and you are doing incredible things for our local community. You know, you're protecting our environment. You're getting people connected with nature. You're really providing us with wonderful food and wonderful wine, and we thank you very, very much. I hope that everyone who participated will make sure and spread the word. By the way, this presentation has been recorded, so it will be available to the presenters, on Facebook. It will be available on the North Fork Environmental Council and North Fork Audubon website. So we hope that you can encourage other people to watch and to support our local sustainable farms, our organic farms, and other businesses that are really doing good things for the community. We are dedicating the month of July to reducing our use of plastics month. And there are 3 initiatives that we are really promoting. One is a letter that we'll be sending out to all of you through Constant Contact to send out to the DEC to encourage the DEC to reinstate the plastic bag ban. We know it was important to do that during you know, the past few months, but it's really important not to lose sight of environmental protection. And we need to get back to that. There are ways to do it, and we should be getting back to it. We also are airing a movie. There'll be a link that we'll share with everyone. It's called The Story of Plastic, and we will have a discussion group, a Zoom discussion group. We'll send out an invite just like we did for this. That will take place on July 15th. We are also doing an eco challenge. There is a list of different incentives, different efforts for reducing plastic that we will be sending out as well via Constant Contact. We are forming 2 teams. One is North Fork Environmental Council, one is North Fork Audubon. And we're going to have this month-long challenge to see how many people can incorporate the most life-changing adaptations in their lives to eliminate plastic. So that will be our focus, and we hope you'll join us for that. And thank